Good morning, engineering heads. Welcome back to another video, and I appreciate you for clicking on this video here. And today I have a very special design here. We will be designing a wrench, and I have my dimensions from a wrench that I use at work, and I have the picture of it on the screen right here. This is the wrench that I got my dimensions from. It's a Matco wrench, and that is a very popular brand in auto repair tools market. So I have this wrench right here, and I made multiple parts to make the whole design. I made like six of those, and I can show you here the final assembly here that I did. It's right here, and we will be designing, and I will be walking through it with you guys. So um these are the parts right here. We're looking at six part one, two, three. We're looking at six parts here, and let me show you each individual part before we start. And I'll open another one. This is the pin, and we have the assembly, which is open right now, and the wrench handle right here, and we have the head right there, and then we have the threads. Yep. So this is our whole design here, and I will be showing you what I did to get to the final assembly, and we will be going over the six parts before we go to the assembly. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Without further ado, let's hop into the video. Thank you. Alright guys, so here now we're gonna start with the first part. We're gonna start with the head, where the thread, where the grooves are. So we're gonna go and start with a new sketch, and the dimensions are in inches. So I want you guys to start making a drawing on the front plane, and when you go to the front plane, I want you to start with a circle about the origin. Let's draw two circles, and let's give each one of them the inner circle, let's give it a diameter of 1 inch, and the outer circle has a diameter of 1.3. And now, since we have all that, we want to select the line tool, and you want to make a line and that is kind of tangential to the outer circle, and then make a horizontal line, then another one on the sides, and escape to get out of the line selection. And then I want you to press the control button and select these two lines, the angular lines, and the diagonal lines, I mean, sorry, and make them equal. And then I want you to start to select the line tool again and draw a center line, and then escape again, then control, then select all those three lines, the diagonal lines and the center line, and make them symmetric. Since now we have all that, we want to start with a dimension, and smart dimension again, and then make this 1 inch, which is 0.8, and make it, if you select the line and the circle, make it tangent, the relationship between them two. And then same thing here, that one is also make that one also tangential. And now we want to trim some parts out. Trim this, trim that out, and the rest were good. And then go extruded boss, and this one has an extrusion of 0.5 inch, and make it mid plane, guys, mid plane. After that, then you wanna select enter, and I want you to start drawing a new sketch from the bottom, and select corner, can go with a center rectangle. And now the dimensions of this one, we want it to have a width of 0.5. So now if you check, you will see that the distance between this side to this side is the same as from this side to this side. All right, so now I want you to go feed extruded boss again, and this one has an extrusion of 0.15 inches. Since now we have that, we want to start a sketch around that part, and select the line. Then you want to convert entities so we can draw an arc. So, and this arc is a tangential arc, so start from the other side, sorry, and extruded boss, reverse direction, and this one has a extrusion of 0.5 because we want it to stop right where this ends. And now press OK, and let's start another sketch so we could draw a circle about the, the, the central points of that arc. So if you come here by the arc, you will see that the center of it, and you want to start a drawing from there. And this one has a dimension of 0.19 inches, and now extruded cut and make it through all, and then enter. Since now we have this, what we want to do now is we want to start a sketch around there so we can make the grooves for the lock. You know, this wrench has a lock, and we want to start with a corner rectangle, and we want to start from there to here. So if you want, you could see this is 0.25. We want it to be in the middle. We want it to stop in the middle, and we want this side, the height of it, to be 0.02. Yeah, 0.02. And we want to do an extruded cut of 0.03 inches, as you can see. When we do that, now we want to copy this. We want to do a circular pattern, and I want you to select this inner circle right here, the one we cut, and make 12 of them with 176 degrees. And the features that we want is the extruded cut too, and reverse direction. So if you come back here, you will see that it stops right where this line is, and then press enter. Yep, just to make it a little bit more nice, let's do a fillet. And the items that we want to fillet are this part and let me zoom in and that part, and we want a fillet of 0.01 inch, and then enter. Then you can see that all this now is good. We could even add another fillet around the edges of the wrench. Yeah, but I'm just gonna leave it like that. And now what we want to do is we want to go change the appearance. So if you go to appearances and you go under metals, then you go to chrome, then after that you go find burnished, let me see, brushed chromium. I think that was the part. Yep, this was the color, the metal. And now we are all done with the first part, so just save it, and then we will get back and we will do the groove. Okay guys, so now we're gonna move on to part 2. We will be designing the groove here. So what I want you guys to do is start a new sketch with the dimensions in inches pound. If like your default is in meters or centimeter, just go back to inches. Alright, so I want you to start a sketch on the front plane and draw a circle from the origin, and it has a diameter of 1 inch, and trimetric view, and then go back to features, then extrude this circle, make it 0.5 inches and mid plane. So now okay, and now I want you to start a new sketch there and draw a circle from the middle. Draw 2 circles. Alright, so the dimensions here, I want this one to be 0.95, yeah, 0.95, and the distance between this circle and this one, I want it to be 0.04. So, and now make this circle right here for construction, and draw a center line that goes through the origin, and unselect it. Oh, escape, press escape key to get out of the line selection, and zoom in to the top portion here, and now draw a line. You know what, draw another construction circle here and offset that one the same distance as the other one, make it 0.04, also 0.04. And now I want you guys to draw a line here, diagonal line, and then make it make it 0.02 inch, 0.02, and then mirror this line about the center line, and now enter, and then 3-point arc. I want this arc here to go from here. Again, select the arc tool and now go there. Then make it tangential to the other construction circle. Oh, you gotta define this again. And now I want this to be 0.06, and the distance between those 2 points, I want them to be, no, sorry, that to be 0.06, and the radius of the arc I want it to be 0.05, and the angle between these two I want it to be 50 degrees, and that one, oh, sorry, control key, that construction circle on this point, coincide them. Now we have that. Now we want to do a circular sketch pattern, and I want this circle to be the direction of it, and I want you to make 22 copies of that, and delete that arc, and I want this point, and this and that, and this line here. I want all those 3 lines copied 22 times. Since we have that, now we want to come here, and now we can, if you scroll down on, if you press the move the copy entities, now I want you to select this line, and then start from this point, copy. If you do that now, and same thing for this one, select it, scroll down on move entities, select copy entities, and this is the point that we want to start from, and then, yep, now we have those. So now to copy this arc here, we do the same thing, copy arc, start point right there, and then we want to rotate the arc because it's facing the wrong way right now. So if you select this part here, or if you select the whole arc, and now make it 180 degrees, and then enter. So this point, press control key, and this point coincide, and same relation here, coincide those two, and then this point and this point coincide them, same thing here, coincided, and then this and the center and the construction circle coincided, and then same thing on this side. I think that's already the case, but let's just do it. And this has the same dimensions as this, so I want you to do the same thing again, circular sketch pattern, this circle here, and delete arc, and select those 3 entities, and then 22 times. So now enter, and now what we want to do is and then cancel, all. So now we have that. I want to enter. Yep. And the material of this, we want to go to appearances, appearance color, want to go to metal, and then iron. We want to make this one cast iron, and then trimetric view. Yep. Now we're good with this part. Just save it. and then we'll move on to our third part, which is the pin. Yep. Okay guys, so now we are on part 3, if I recall correctly. So now we have to draw the spin. We have to design the spin here. I want you to start a new sketch, and same thing, dimensions are in inches. And then if you go to front plane, I want you to draw a circle. If you recall, I already made a video on doing shafts. This is the same thing for the pin. You only need to give it a dimension of 0.19, and then if you go to features, extruded boss, and then make mid plane, and this one has a length of 1 inch. Extruded boss again, and then this one is good. I want you to go to chrome first, and then brushed chromium. Yep. And now save this part, and then we will be all good with this part. Now we will move on to the lock, which is a little bit more challenging. Okay guys, now part 4 I mean, which is the lock of the wrench. So here we are. Now we need to start a new sketch, a new part I mean, and sketch. Now line, diagonal line, and same thing over there. Alright, so center lines, both the origin, and then same thing here. Alright, so what we want to add 3-point arcs. 1 and alright, now escape. 1 to 3, trim some entities away. Okay, so trim that out, and trim this, and take that out, and trim that out. Yep. So we want smart dimension, which is 0.10, and make that one also 0.10. 0.10, and make them tangent. Tangent relations, same thing here, and tangent relation. Alright, now we have that, and so we want to add the length of this top portion here, which is 0.75, and this bottom portion here, which is 0.5 inch. And then what we want to make this line here and this one symmetrical, and then we want to mirror those 2 arcs that we drew about the center line, the center horizontal vertical line I mean. And then we want to trim the outer portion out. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to delete this smart dimension and trim entities again and take that part out. So what we wanted was the dimension from this point to this point here to be 0.75, and then the bottom portion from that point to this point we want it to be 0.5, and we want this line, these two diagonal lines, to be equal. 1, 2, equal, and we want this line to be 0.25. Alright, since now we have all those, we want to extrude that sketch, and we want that to be 0.20. And now we have that first part. Now start a new sketch around that part. Let's go back because we have to make the horizontal part to be symmetrical to the origin. So this line and this line and this line, we want it to be symmetrical, and then okay, and then alright. So now start a new sketch, and then what we want to do is we want to draw a rectangle here, a corner rectangle. Is this a corner rectangle? Alright. Smart dimensions, which is 0.1 and 0.1 by 0.1. Alright, so, and the distance from this part to this part is 0.02, and now we want to draw another rectangle from this part to this part here. We want it to be 0.1 by 0.1, and then the distance, same distance, 0.02, and we want to draw another rectangle by the bottom part, which is 0.1 by 0.1, 0.1 by 0.1. Alright, and the distance same, 0.02. Alright, so now since we have all that, we want to do is we want to do a linear sketch of these two first, and then we want to make another one. And how we do that? Linear sketch here, and I think 4 would work. 4, and the direction of this should be there, and this is the entities reverse direction, and we want it to be 0.2. Alright, and we want to do the same thing for the bottom, like I said. and then okay. Now select that part and do the same thing for that one. We want maybe three of those, three and 0.2, and then all right, okay. Since we have all that, what we want to do is we want to extrude this part, which is an extrusion of 0.025, and trimetric view. As you can see, we have all those well defined, and okay. So now what we want to do is we want to start a new sketch here, and we want to draw a corner rectangle, and we want to draw a center line that goes through the origin. And first let's make these two symmetrical, those two vertical lines symmetrical. And smart dimensions, now we want this one to be 0.3, and oh sorry, yeah, 0.3, and this one 0.15. And then yeah, extruded boss, geometric view, we want that to have an extrusion of 0.3 inch. And now we have, as we see, what we want to do is we want to copy these two, want to mirror them. Mirror, where is the mirror? Yep, mirror about, so we cannot mirror about this body. So what we have to do is we want to make a new plane. So our first reference plane is the front plane, and we want it to have an offset of 0.15, and then flip offset. As you can see, it's in the middle of it. And now press Control key and select extrusion 1 and extrusion 2, and do not select plane 1. So 1, 2, and then mirror again, and this is the plane that we want to copy that, and then okay. So now we have all that, and now what we want to do is we want to make another sketch on top, like top plane sketch. And what we could do, we could make this one, we could hide that plane, and then we want to draw a rectangle, corner rectangle that goes from each side, and the dimensions of these, we have 0.02 for the length, and the distance from there to here is, no, we do not have that distance. So make a center line by here, and the dimension from this side to this side is 0.14, and then from there to here is 0.04. And then I want you to mirror this rectangle, mirror entities about this line, and we want to make another one. So make this 0.10, Yep. And all this shifted up. So you want to make another center line, same distance, smart dimension 0.04, and then this one we want to mirror the rectangle about the center line. Mirror rectangle about this center line, and now we can do an extruded cut of 0.03 and then enter. And if you select this and go fillet and make a fillet of 0.01 and then enter. So now this part we want it to be cast iron again, and if you see we have this part all done. Now you can save this part and then we will move on to the handle of the wrench. Alright guys, so we are on the last part here, and in my opinion this is the hardest part for me, and let's go and start with a new part and start on the top plane, start a new sketch, and I want you to draw a rectangle from the origin, and this one is 1 by 0.5, 1 inch, 0.5, or I mean like this, 0.5 by 1, and then trimetric view, then features, extruded boss, and this one make it mid plane, just make it blind, and 0.25 inch, and then enter. Now that we have that, I want you to start a sketch by the edge and then draw a tangent arc. First, what we have to do is convert this line here, and then tangent arc from the bottom. I always mess this up. And go there, and then feature, extruded boss, reverse, and then up to surface, and choose the surface here, and then OK. So now that we have that, we want to start a new sketch on top, and we want to do is we want to convert this entity, and then we want to draw a 3-point arc from this side to this side, and make it that wide, and then we want to add some lines on the edge. Yep. And smart dimensions, let's make those two lines equal. The last two lines that we just drew, make them equal. 1, 2, equal. And then smart dimension, make this 0.09, 0.09, and this one has a radius of 1.5. And now extruded cut and through all. Now that we have that, we want to start another sketch on that edge and convert entities again, and then make a line here and draw a center line through the center of this, and then make it a distance of 0.03. And now we want to start a spline that starts here and it goes where the line starts, and then escape. Now we want to trim some entities. You see this overlay, trim entities, and then cut that out and make it tangent to this line, and then enter. And now this one has a distance of 5.5 inch. Now we want to select these two entities here, and we want to mirror them about the center line. Mirror entities 1, 2, about this, and then enter. So now what I want you to do is delete this. I don't know why it came about, and this line, convert it, and then close, put a line here, and then enter. Okay, now I want you to extrude this part and make it up to surface. Make it 1 inch, and then it will be good there. As you can see, now we want to start a sketch on that top portion, and what we want to do is we want to draw a line that goes from here to there, and it goes this way, and it goes this way, and then a center line from the midpoints of that line segment, and then same relation, symmetrical relation, and then we want a distance of a distance of 0.5, and then we want to draw a spline. Return, and then I want you to draw a line first, a line that goes through that point, and then trim entities 1, and take that out, and now we want to mirror this spline here about this center point, and then enter. So now we want to select this arc and this line, tangent relation, and then OK, and then I want you to convert this entity, convert that entity, and sorry, I want you to delete this line, and then convert this entity here, then trim those two portions out, and says smart dimensions, this line should be 5 inches, 5, and cancel. Then see that point and this point here coincide, and then same thing here, coincide these 2 points if they are not. I think they are already, since they're just a copy of each other. And then when we come back here, now our sketch is fully defined, and then make this one through all. Yep, as you can see now that part is good. And what we want to do is we want to zoom in on this side, and we want to start with a line here, a line, and then a center line, and make these two lines parallel. 1, 2, parallel, and this line has a length of it has a length of 0.5 inch, and we want to mirror that line about the center line. Oh, and the distance between this line and the center line is 0.27, or you could say 0.54 divided by 2, 0.27. And now we want to mirror this line, mirror entities about the center line, and then yep. So now we want to add a 3-point arc. See, I always mess that up. So I think that's a good enough angle. And now we want to start with a spline tool again, and if you come around here and make it, yep, and then escape, and do the same thing. 1, yep, that's good enough. And now I want you to start a 3-point arc again. There you go. Always always, this is becoming a habit now. To there, and then I want you to just keep dragging it until there, and the distance between this line and this line is, yeah, we already defined that. And we could draw an arc around here, and then trim entities Trim that out, trim this out. And then same thing here. Trim that part also out. And I think we could do better with that portion. And then spline tool, 1 to 2. And then escape. Now trim entities, trim that portion out. And then spline tool, from there to here. Escape. And then spline tool again, from that part to this portion. Yep, as you can see. So now trim entities, 1, and then trim that portion out. And then I want you to convert that part, and 1, 2 tangents. Yep. So now this one is all defined. It's not, we gotta trim more things out, more entities. 1. Yep. Okay, so 1 more. Yes. Okay. So now we're all good. And then extruded boss. We want that mid plane. And we want it to be 0.15 inch. 1, 2. Yep. And then enter. So as you can see here. Alright, now select this point here and then rotate the view, and then select this part there and then fillet, and make that a fillet of 0.5 inch, and then come to this side here and that. Oh, now, yep, this looks good. And let's come back to this portion here, and I want you to draw a circle there, which is we go to the arc, and then we go to the center, and then some more dimensions. We want this to be 0.19 inch, and then extruded cut, and this one goes through all. Okay, so now we want to start sketching from the top and draw a rectangle. We want a corner rectangle, and we want to start from this point to that point, and the dimensions of this is 0.5, by 0.5, and we want to draw an arc on this side. Sorry. So delete, and then this is 0.5 inch, 0.5, and yep, and yeah, so far we want to draw a sensor. Okay, so now select this point here and this point and this line, symmetric, and then enter. So now we want to do an extruded cut through all, and then enter. Oh shoot. And if you want, you let's move this, let's move that down, and then move this line up. So now we want to draw a sketch there, and then if you rotate the view and you zoom into this portion, you press this part, and then you do convert entities, and then extruded cut through all. Yep, then you will be good there, and then move this line back down so the circle comes back, and trimetric view. As you can see, this one is all done, and then add brushed chromium, and yeah, that's all for this part. Yep, so now save this part here, and then we will start doing the assembly. Okay, as you guys can see here, I have the final assembly, and I have added some constraints, as you can see, these two here, and the pin is stuck in there. So now let's just start a new assembly file and go to browse, and I want you to pick the wrench handle first, and if you press it OK, the SolidWorks will automatically just leave it at this is the origin, and now what we want to do is we want to add more parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then open, and you can drop them around the handle here. So what we want to do is we want to select the mate tool, and I want you to select this edge here and this edge, and then press OK. Now I want you to select that pin and this collar there, and now the pin for the the edge for the pin and the edge of the handle and then OK. So now I want you to move this head over here. So now I want you to define something else first. I want you to define this and this and press OK. So now this is all defined, and as you can see, you can move the whole part here, and if you expand the move components, you can rotate. We can rotate our part here. I don't know why it's not rotating it. Okay, so now rotate components. Okay, that's good. So now I want you to mate and delete that selection, and now you can select this top portion, the bottom portion, and this top portion here, and then press OK. And I want you to press this edge, select that edge, and if you zoom in around here and this edge, and I want you to go to advanced, and I want you to expand this dimension thing, distance, and I want you to type in 0 for the minimum value. Oh, sorry. And 0.25 for this value here, and then I want you to type in 0, and now OK. And if you guys check now, our lock is stuck in one place, and you can define this now. So select your mate tool, and then select that portion with this inner edge, and press OK. Now the inside circle and our pin, then press OK and OK again. And now what we could do, if you want, let's expand the headlock, and I mean the handle. Select the top plane, go to mates, and if you expand the assembly and you expand the wrench head, and I want you to select the right plane and then go to advanced, and if you expand the angle function and you type in -80 degrees for the minimum value and 80 degrees for that value, and then switch the keep this mate aligned mate, and then press OK. Now you can see that is defined, and then what we want to do is press OK. Okay, mate, and now this, and then 0.26, and then this portion with this portion, and okay. Okay, so, and this right here is not gonna rotate a full 360. full revolution, and you can keep it straight here. And if you do trimetric view, you can see that everything here is defined and the slide, except that whenever we slide that up there, this does not lock. That's the only, it's our only fault here, you know. But like I said, whenever you 3D print this, you will be able to lock it in place. And thank you so much guys for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And if you really liked it, please leave a comment, leave a like, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any concerns or any, you know, opinions on how I could make this channel better, if this is your channel as well as it is mine, you know, just let me know in the comment section. Please let me know. I would really appreciate your opinions. Thank you so much. Have a good one.